Artnerds, in our last alcohol marker tutorial, we rendered this amazing piece. Today, we're going to add finishing touches. We're going to bring in a little bit of mixed media with gel pens and possibly color pencils. So if that sounds awesome, you're just going to have to keep watching. Okay, art nerds, let's say your alcohol marker collection is not that big. Maybe you can't get the colors you want. Maybe you can't get the depth of color you want. So what can you do? Well, one of your solutions is to augment your collection with color pencils. And they don't have to be expensive color pencils. Even Crayola color pencils will help you achieve more of the look you want. So I've noticed with this piece, I'm not entirely satisfied with the depth of color. So I have a blue indigo pencil there. I'm grabbing a white color pencil as well. And I've also got a little selection of gel pens just off to the side that's going to help me better achieve my goals. Now, these techniques tend to work better on papers that have a tooth. This is expressive blending card. It ain't got no tooth. It is toothless, so we're gonna have to make do with what we got. So I'm gonna start with blue indigo, and I'm just gonna start adding a little bit of extra shade. And what's really cool about using watercolor or color pencils over alcohol marker is that it's not going to react. It's not gonna reactivate. It's not going to affect the colors underneath. It's not gonna reactivate them. They're not gonna lift, they're not gonna bleed, they're not gonna get kind of faded out like you might get if you did a bunch of layers of alcohol marker or if you tried to glaze over watercolor. And what if we find that the areas of shadow under the neck or where skin crosses over skin, maybe that's a little bit too desaturated as well. So what can we do about that? Well, we can use a red-violet color pencil to both add a little bit of shade and add some color depth back into the area. So I have here a couple of different color pencils. We have a dark carmine and a purple violet. Let's use the purple violet. And we're going to add some shading back into the skin. Of course, if you've noticed an area that maybe you'd skip the first time, you can always use this as an opportunity to kind of fix those mistakes. Okay, so what if we want to add some white or some highlights back in? Well, you can use something like this. This is a Winsor & Newton pigment marker. It's going to put down white on your illustration, and it is an alcohol-based marker, so you can use it sparingly just to add a little bit more white. And this is neat because you can add the white kind of back in layers. It doesn't go immediately to like an opaque white. There's a good chance that these are going to get discontinued soon because Winsor & Newton isn't super happy with the performance of these. Do wish they would have consulted more alcohol marker artists because I think there's a lot of great potential there. I was really excited about them, but the chisel nib being the most useful of the two nibs does not make it super easy. In fact, you can find a lot of videos on these here on my channel. They are some of my earlier videos, and it's one of my first earlier series, and I just always found them kind of difficult to use. But I do like using them to add kind of white accents back in the areas. What I would have liked to have seen was a brush tip for this instead. It's really useful for creating the appearance of glass because there's just a slight opacity to it. And you can continue to build it up over several layers until you almost have white. You can also use a white color pencil to kind of add highlights back into areas. So if you wanted to do that gradually, you could also use a white color pencil. These are a little bit easier to use and easier to find. You can also use a gel pen. And gel pens and mixed with markers are a pretty common combination. So I'm using a white Signo. Signos are my favorite white gel pens. I also really like Sakura of America's gel pens, but I don't like their white ones. For some reason, Jelly Rolls die on me pretty frequently. So I'm just using this to add some small opaque white details back in. Can be used for adding highlights into the hair. Adding white highlights to objects that are metal or glass, or objects that are porcelain and very shiny, that sort of thing. Now, you don't have to just use white highlighters or white gel pens. You can use, like, this is a silver jelly roll. If you're doing something that people are going to see in person, it's going to be hard for y'all to see. But in person, it's putting down a thin silvery layer. So that's going to be reflective in the light. You can also use multicolor gel pens. These can be a lot of fun. Or single color gel pens. Or you can use smaller points like this Juice Up just to add kind of details back in. So I'm going to use this Sarasa just to add little like polka dots or flowers to her dress. Now I'm going to use this multicolored Sarasa to add further accents. And what's neat about that is it can come out any color. So it looks like we've got green for the centers, and then maybe we can do green leaves. You can also do this with your markers if you wish, or with your color pencils. It's really all about what you have access to, what you feel like doing. If you're looking for gel pens that do special effects, Sakura's Jelly Roll pens they come in all different kinds of effects. You can do pearlescent, you can do metallic, they have neons, they have ones that do like weird glaze effects. I mean, they've really got a lot of cool gel pens on the market. You can check those out. I will tell you, it's switching over into yellow now. I will tell you that this gel pen does not want to mark over the areas that I've already colored with color pencils, so it doesn't make it a little spotty. What I would normally recommend is that you do your gel pen first and then go over it with color pencil. Really, the only limitation is your imagination. You can use stickers, you can use washi tape, you can use color pencils, you can use gel pens, you can use crayons, you can use other markers, you can use watercolor. Basically, anything you feel like throwing at it, do it, experiment, and find out what works for you and on the papers that you like to use. So I hope this quick video was helpful, useful, and inspiring for you guys. If you like my Copic art, make sure you click subscribe and click the bell notification, because I have a lot of alcohol marker tutorials here on this channel. If you want to support what I do, if you want to see more of it, head on over to patreon.com/natosoup and join my art nerd community. My art nerds are the reason I am able to do these sort of videos, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, so it is only with their support that I am able to continue to do this. If you're interested in learning more about Copic markers in person from me and you live in the Nashville area, you can take one of my Copic classes taught through the Nashville Plaza. You can head on over to their site to find out how to register. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys again really soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.